Welcome to Author Audience, where I'm on a mission to help you reach more people with your message. And I just believe that God has given you a God-given message to share with the world. And I just encourage you to let your light shine. Today, I'm rolling out the red carpet and I'm inviting you to join me in this expert interview with Diane Cunningham. My name is Shelley Hitz and I'm the owner of Author Audience Academy. And I'm a true believer that success leaves clues. Therefore, I'm excited to introduce you to authors and experts who have had amazing success and are now willing to share their tips and strategies with you. So welcome, Diane.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be on my first blab with you.
Yes, so fun. I always wanted to let everyone know a little bit about you, and then we'll dive into this topic of how to successfully publish a multi-author book. So Diane Cunningham is the president and founder of the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs. That's a mouthful, and I always seem to get it wrong, but you can find out more about that at nacwe.org. Mm-hmm. But she's just a woman of many talents, but she's a consultant, author, video guru, artist, plane crash survivor, which is an amazing story, marathon runner, and former master's level therapist. She has been called a creative machine. And if you follow her on social media, or if you follow her, you know that's true. And she's a Pied Piper of people. She created NACWE in May of 2010. Awesome. That's also when I started my business coaching authors. So that's really cool. As a global association for women to connect, create, and collaborate through monthly online trainings and more. And so I'm just so excited to welcome you, Diane, to this interview and for you to share some of your tips and strategies.
I'm just so grateful to be here. And I can see that some of my members of NACWE are here with us. So I'm going to give a shout out to them. Hi, guys. And yeah, I'm excited that God didn't, the plane crash, I guess I'm thinking of the plane crash, and, God wasn't done with me yet. I had more things to do, but that was before all of these books came out and all these different things. But yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, you're welcome. And if you're here live with us on Blab, you'll see a little link to share on Twitter. And if you find this content valuable, we would just appreciate you sharing this and just inviting people to join us as well. So, hey guys that are joining live, just excited to have you here. You can feel free to enter your questions into the chat. And we'll also have a time at the end for a Q&A where you can join us on video as well. All right. So I've been watching you on social media, and I saw your launch of your third book in the series, and rockbottomisabeautifulplace.com is where you can find that book series. Yeah, you just showed us. And I was intrigued because I've also published multi-author books. I just checked this morning, and our publishing company, we've done 6 of those books, but I was just intrigued with your process and how you were marketing it and the success that you had. And I thought you could really offer some value to other authors that want to do something similar or want to participate in something similar. So I guess my first question is, you've published 3 of these now. How did you first come up with the idea, or how did you first even think about doing this?
Well, now that I think about it, there was actually one that happened before the Rock Bottom book series. That was a long time ago now, 2011, and I didn't really know what I was doing then. I learned a little bit more to know what I was doing this time. This one's called Inspired Women Succeed, and but the way that these 3 came about, this is the 3 that we're talking about right here. Rock Bottom is a Beautiful Place, number 1, number 2, number 3. And I just wanted to have them here with me, my babies.
Yes, those are beautiful covers, by the way.
Oh, thank you. We got to hold on to our book babies, right?
Yes, so true.
I have my other book babies here. But I guess I'm a collaborator, and I wanted to give other women a voice to share their message. And I felt, I think for me, I learn as I go, and I have a coach that helps me to kind of, when I get overwhelmed or confused, she said, well, why can't we do it just like this? And I said, oh yeah, I guess. And then I remembered, sometimes we forget what we've already done, right?
Yes.
And I remembered, yeah, I had done that before a couple years back before some things had happened. And so, yeah, I basically invited women to come join us in this series, and 53 total women have shared in these 3 different books. And
Wow.
we've done some Amazon bestsellers in each of them. And it's just really been an amazing journey to really share something that's so vulnerable, first of all, and then give other women that opportunity, because it's an emotional experience. So it's like a little support group as we walk through this book process together. So I don't even know if I've answered your questions. For those of you that are here, this is my first blab, so forgive me. I might blab too much.
No, you're great. And I love the fact that you said you wanted to give women a voice.
Mm-hmm.
That just gives me chills. Like, I love that. I love that's part of why you created this series. And there's a lot of different reasons to create a multi-author book or a series like this, but I love that part of it. As you've gone through the process and you've been through it several times now, what are some benefits that you see for authors if they're considering doing this themselves, like initiating and organizing a multi-author book? What are some of the benefits that you've seen or that you could potentially see for authors to do something like this?
Oh gosh, there's so many benefits. First of all, you don't have to write the whole book by yourself. You know? Yeah, and basically, I mean, the way I did it is I sold spots. I sold an opportunity, and the price that I put on it was very low compared to because I've done the research and I've been a part of other multi-author books as well. And so it as an author, it takes a lot of the time away that you would need to write your own book, because I've done my own as well, and I know the difference.
Yes.
And so this gives other people a part of the process with you. And so you're inviting them to come, and that could be 10 people, 30. We had 28 in the first book, and then we had 11, and then we had 24. So each book has been different, but it, as an author, it gives you also a marketing team, a built-in marketing
yes
to help you spread the word, and then you provide them with the things that they need. You help them with a listing on the website. You give them the graphics and everything that they need to promote. You show them how to create Amazon reviews before we even go live.
Yes, that's awesome.
So basically we do all this kind of, I call it stealth in the background. And then we go big for 3 days, giving the book away for free on Amazon. And that's the way I've done it. And so as an author out there listening, I highly recommend it. You're obviously not going to make any money when you give it away for free, but you're going to get a lot of feedback, credibility, and you're going to reach more people.
Exactly. And there's multiple ways to do it, but I love that you have a system and it works for you. And I'm sure each time you do it, it improves and you add different things, but that marketing power is so key. Like having that marketing power, not having to do it yourself, and, just being able to do that. Now, if an author does say want to take this step and do it themselves, what are some of the details that they need to consider? Like, did you have contracts or, what kind of things did you have in place before you started recruiting people for your book?
Okay, good question also. And I do recommend you have somebody coach you through this process if you've never done this before. And I offer that also. Just want to put that out there. I have a contract that they sign, each author signs, so that they can know what they're agreeing to. That basically they're agreeing to write their story. I don't own their story, but I own it in this little section of this book. And that then they can use this book to go out and speak. There's a contract that I have them beforehand. I create a sales page, obviously, for that process. And then I also hire an editor And because I'm not an editor,
right.
No, hello. And so we need, I hire, and I've used the same editor for all 3 of these books. I hire, before I even start, I design the book cover so that when I'm selling the spots, they can see it and feel it.
Good idea.
Yeah, huge. That's a huge idea. And I've actually, these, the middle book, I had to change the book. I had a book cover design that I didn't like. It was like, I don't like that. And it was hard for me to get excited about it. If I'm not excited about it, I can't get anybody else excited about it. So make sure you have a book design cover ahead. This is all ahead of time, that you feel you are excited about holding up and saying, come join me. And of course, the real book is not there, but I print out the cover and I laminate it and hold it by my face when I'm on it, when I'm taking a little photo. And just be willing to, so the contract, the sales page, the graphics, or, the book cover, and then having your editing team set up. All those things are things that happen before we start accepting authors.
Those are great tips. And if somebody would want to do coaching with you or do that, do you offer them like the contract you use and, give them those things as well to adapt to what they're doing?
Yeah. And I've coached one of our women through this process, actually a couple of our women, but one who's gone all the way through, coached her for 90 days as she did her, and she became an Amazon bestseller. And she just had one, she was not a multi-author book. It was her own book. And so I coach people that want to do books with multi-authors or their own book to help them. You don't have to take years to do this, people. You do not have to take years. You know that, Shelley.
Yes.
Let's get down to business. Let's write a book. I need to start on the next book. So let's rally around the troops, right?
Yes, so true. And I have a book that's called Procrastination to Publication. It's so easy to put it off because there's so many other things on our agendas and our to-do list. It's so easy to just put it off. And it's so good to have somebody there cheering you on and taking you through the steps, someone that's been where you want to be, and that can give you the shortcuts. I love that. So what are some things that you've learned through the process of publishing your series? Or another way to say is, was there anything you learned the hard way with publishing a multi-author book?
I have learned a lot of things. I learned everything the hard way. Everybody? Okay.
Yes, me too.
So for one, these books, we're not talking about baking a cake here. We're talking about an emotional, something that was a tragedy for women that went through these rock bottom experience. So I end up using a lot of my skills from when I was a counselor. And so as these women are writing their stories, they're having a cathartic, emotional experience. And so we have a private Facebook group all the way through the process. And I meet with the authors at least once a month on the phone to kind of talk them off the ledge, give them a little, pep talk, prayer experience, but also just helping. Siri thinks I'm talking to Siri. Sorry. Blabbing on Siri. So I've learned that it's more than just the to-do list. It's the emotional process of writing a book. I've also learned the hard way that I'm not a detail person. And again, when we have editors and we have all these women, and no matter how many times we read through it, there's as soon as we get a sample copy, there's still mistakes.
Oh, I know.
That's just a given. But I've also learned that it's for me, I've done 2 this year. So I have to acknowledge that, and also just know that I can give myself a break.
Right.
I can give myself a break and to really pause long enough to celebrate. Pause long enough to celebrate the process and really honor the journey, honor the the process of sharing a story with the world. So I'm sure there's many more lessons I learned the hard way. The first time I did it, I didn't charge enough money. Okay, so there's a little hard lesson that I would want to share with other authors. You have to take into consideration the cost of the editing, the cost of the website, the cost of the marketing materials, the graphics, and sometimes I underestimate that. And so you want to make sure you have somebody that can help you with the right pricing.
That's great. And having that budget ahead of time can be really helpful. Do you have a recommended like price that you charge?
The first, so for people to be in this book?
Yes.
The first time I did it, it was $297 for them to get a spot, and then I moved it up to $497, and with that came all of the editing and the website and 5 copies of the book. So I made sure that they knew I was not over here rolling around in the money.
Right, and they get coaching. They get coaching with you basically through the process.
Yeah, they learn how to do this for themselves too. And so I really make sure they understand, because I've been a part of books where you have to pay a couple $1,000s, and you have to also buy like, I don't know, 300 books or something. I don't want 300 books sitting in my garage. I mean, I don't need 300 books right now.
Exactly. And we're kind of coming down to the end of just the interview process or the interview section. And I always love to have a take action tip. I love working with action takers. I know, Diane, you are an action taker. I think we are sisters from another mister. We're like, when you were saying like what your top strengths were, I'm like, those are mine too. Like we're so much the same, but so much different. But what would you say for a takeaway? Like what would be a take action tip for our listeners, people that are listening, that they could apply immediately?
I would say the take action tip is to brainstorm today the name of your book, the title of your book, and get even if you need 4 or 5 names brainstormed out, because I have 5 or 6, I have that for my next book. And by brainstorming that, it starts to make it real. So that's the takeaway tip I would have. And whether that's a multi-author book or your own book, doesn't matter. You might not know that yet. Let go of all the drama, let go of the need to know, let go of trying to figure it all out, because guess what, peeps? We do not have it all figured out. We don't.
Such a good tip, because it gets you excited. It gets you in the process of thinking, okay, what is next? And you can always change it later. But when you have that title and you know, sometimes even working on the book cover can get you really excited, and having that book cover done. And I did that for my upcoming book. It's called Broken Crayons, Still Color. And I had the book cover designed, and all of a sudden it was like, I've been resisting, because it's going to be an emotionally difficult book too. And I was like, resist. And it's like, okay, just take a step. And I did the title, I got the book cover, and started building some buzz. And it's like, okay, Lord, I think I can, start doing this now. Yeah. So I think that's a great take action tip. And if people want to find out more about you online, where's the best place to find you?
I would say one of the hubs is DianeCunningham.com. That's where, that will get them all over the place, to the Rock Bottom website and to NACWE. But my coaching and all of that is at DianeCunningham.com.
Okay, awesome. Now, for those of you that are on live, if you would like to jump in I've opened up the seat. If you would like to jump in and ask any questions, feel free to request to jump in now if you'd like, or you can ask questions in the chat. You can feel free to do that. But, Brian King says, me. He also says he would like to interview you, Diane. So
yeah, I would love that.
Brian, just go ahead and request to join, and we'll take you on next. Here he is. Welcome, Brian.
Let me control the blinding light here.
Oh, okay.
So
how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. The pain meds are kicked in. The coffee's working. Everything is stellar.
Awesome. So do you have a question for Diane or a comment?
Oh, absolutely. This is very serendipitous. I've just started a podcast focusing on people's stories of resilience. And when I heard you mention the plane crash, I knew immediately there's a story here. Diane and I need to connect. But I'm also thinking about taking these stories and turning them into somewhat of a collective, because there are so many stories out there. So in terms of finding the people, I mean, how do you find them? And your whole system is something I'm definitely going to need to tap into, because why reinvent the wheel when there are Ferraris out there on the road, right?
Exactly.
So I definitely want to learn from you how to do it. But is there a starting point, a strategy that you found that is best for attracting the people that are suitable for this niche?
Great question, Brian. The way I have promoted is basically through Facebook primarily, because Facebook is my main hub. I'm not a good Twitter girl, and of course Periscope just came around. But most of my ways of finding them was through Facebook or just my email. And truthfully, my email list is small. I mean, don't tell anybody. Because they wouldn't believe that. You know, small is relative, of course. But the first time I announced the first Rock Bottom book, I announced it from my live conference. But again, there was 45 women there. Some of them came running towards that was the first time I told my story of realizing I was an alcoholic. So there was emotion in the room. There was this space, sacred space of, wow, I have a story to tell too. Whatever that story is, I have a story to tell. So I guess, I would say using live events, but using social media and then using your email list. A combination of those is how I got the word out for each of these books. And then some of the women were in each, I have a couple women that were in each book. They wanted to tell another story. And then I have women that told their friends and said, come on, this is your place. Come join her for the next book.
That's wonderful, because that's how I was envisioning it working. And you describing it that way is very validating. And I'm similar to you. I'm a Facebook sprinter, but a Twitter limper. I kind of limp along trying to figure it out. So I'm going to really start on that today, in fact. So let's you and I connect and see what we can do.
Sure. Yeah. Shoot me an email. Okay.
You bet. And thanks for having me on, Shelley. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks, Brian. Thank you for being here. And I just saw, Marsha, I think you tried to request and I missed it. I was distracted. So if you want to come on, just click join and you can join us here on this blab. And
Marsha is one of the women that's been in 2 of the books.
Oh, awesome. I'd love to hear.
One of my authors here.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your side of it. If you're still with us here, Marsha, and you can request to join again, would love to have you on here. So tell us a little bit more while we're waiting to see if she's coming on. Tell us a little bit more about the books themselves.
Sure. Basically, here she comes. The books themselves are just really short little stories of transformation. So I can hold on that. Hi, Marsha.
Hi.
Hi, Marsha. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I turned the camera on. Actually, I was disconnected and I was trying to get back on. I really wasn't trying to talk, but I love to talk. Diane is like my sister. So if she's your sister, we're all just sisters in this.
Awesome. So what was your experience like being part of her book? Which volume were you part of?
I was in the 2nd and the 3rd. Rock Bottom
Awesome.
Is a Beautiful Place, Living Your Calling, because they all have subtitles as well. So it's Rock Bottom is a Beautiful Place, Living Your Calling, How I Became an Entrepreneur. And then the 3rd one is Rock Bottom is a Beautiful Place, and that is Living with a Grateful Heart. So the Grateful Heart is the one that was really had my heart in it. And it was really difficult to write. Even at one point I had to stop and completely change direction into where I was going because it was so emotional. But I didn't get rid of the first part that I had written. I just started writing. I'm changing lanes here, folks, because, and this is the reason, and finished my story. And it was so healing for me to do that I don't care if any book sold or not. It was just out there. It's available for people. And, my entire heart, my entire being was there.
Well, you got a lot out of the process, and so much came from just doing it. And that's what's so unique about Diane's books is it's not just writing, it's an emotional journey that you all take together. So
it's a journey.
That's so
and
awesome.
I made some great friends, some wonderful friends. We're like family together. And two of us are getting ready to meet with Diane tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, for VIP days. So as you can see, I am in Home Depot right now. Not Home Depot. I'm in Office Depot right now, getting my supplies, getting ready for tomorrow, because we're going to be planning 2016.
Great. That is exciting. And one of the things, Diane, I did want you to touch on, and maybe Marsha, if you were part of it, you can talk about it too. You guys had a live event, a book signing event. Were you there, Marsha, too?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there as actually our last book signing, that we were all sitting there. We're all, waiting for people to come in, and a water pipe broke out in the back of the place where we were meeting. So
I remember seeing that on Facebook.
Oh my God. So I went out there and I'm filming the thing, and then start wondering, I wonder if it's going to start exploding down here too, so, I mean, it was incredible, but, because we just laughed, we kept on going. None of us got upset about it, and it worked out. We ended up at the Hilton. I think it was the Hilton. They gave us a fabulous room, and the bakery where we were gave us all this food. So I was really happy about that. And so it all just works out. And that right there was a lesson that if you believe in what you're doing, and you have heart, and don't quit, and don't lose control, just believe that everything is going to work out. It really does. It really does. It may not look like how we expect it to look, but sometimes it's even better.
Yeah. And that was such a life lesson in the midst of all of that. But,
one of the things I do, just so the other authors can hear this, one of the things I do during the 3 days for free is I do a virtual book launch on a webinar on that first Monday night, on the first day of the free. And then I do the second night, we do a live book signing. And we had women like Marsha that are from the Dallas area, but we had people that flew in from all over the country to come to this, Washington State, Florida. And we had this giant party. And like she said, I mean, we basically had to go with the flow and move down the street after this water broke. And you know what? God is always in control. God knows exactly what we need. And we just have to get out of the way. We had a great time.
Yeah, and that's just so gives so much insight into what other, like you said, other authors could do. You had layers. You had your virtual book launch,
right?
You had your in-person book launch party and signing, and then you had your Amazon free days. Like there was layers of that, and you were able to reach bestseller status. That was awesome.
Woo woo! Yeah, absolutely. Oh, sorry. I'm kind of in this store.
And this is, I just want to throw this in real quick. This is Marsha's, what we call a mini book, bitty book. And so a lot of the women that I don't know if you can see that because of the glare, but
it's a little bit hard to see.
Anyway, basically a lot of our women now also have what we call these bitty books. And that's just another part of kind of adding to, being a part of a multi-author book, but then taking your story, pieces of that story, putting it in a smaller book, and then taking that again and expanding it. I mean, it's all about birthing these books.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Now, so is her bitty book, Marsha, is your bitty book have the similar story that was in the multi-author book, or is it different?
No, actually, no, it is different. There's 11 chapters in there. And what I did was I took 11 of my best blogs and I made a book out of them. So it's Marsha, it's my journey, and I call it the evolution of Marsha. But the name of the book is In the Fast Lane. So
great.
With Marsha. And so it's my evolution about how I came to be where I am today. And each chapter is different. So you can either pick out a chapter that you'd want to read, or you can read it straight through from page 1 to whatever the pages are. So yeah, so I did that and had a great time with working with the editors and working with the designer for the cover and the back and the table of contents. And so it was a different experience than Rock Bottom, but Diane was with me closely because she is my coach. So she was with me very closely going through this, and you know, through the good times and, you know, some of the thin times, I call them. And but you know, it's done, it's beautiful, and
Yes.
And I'm an author.
Yes, and I love that you took content that you already had. That's something that I teach, is something I've done, and you can do so much with stuff you already have written, or that, you know, podcasts you have, presentations you give if you're a speaker, so many different things. I have actually taken content from my journals. Like, I never thought those journals would come about for anything other than just me processing. But then I take some of the content from those journals and I even forget that I wrote it, you know, because it was so long ago. But there's so many ways to repurpose. I love that you did that for your bitty book that you call. That's a cool little term, bitty book.
My itty bitty book. It's a bitty
bitty book. Yes. Well, anything else you'd like to share, Marsha, or say?
Well, I'm here on NACWI. It's what we call it, NACWI. And join us. You can join us. Diane has a free monthly call that anybody can join in on that call and hear all of us and her talk on whatever topic it is. So, but it's just a process, and it's living. My takeaway from everything that's going on in my life the last few years is that I'm better every day, and I do at least try to do one good thing a day. And I'm proud of myself for stepping out of what I thought I was free, but I was free inside my own box. And so now I am free for real, and getting even freer because I'm doing things I've never done before. So here at NACWI, we just say, you know, no limits, no walls, no, and sometimes we're all lunatics, and that's okay. That's really okay.
I love it, Marsha.
Great interview.
Awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on and joining us today.
Okay, and thank you so much. I'm going to get back to my shopping now. See you tomorrow, Diane.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
If there's anyone else that would like to join us live, there's an open seat, and you can feel free to request that. But in the meantime, Diane, if you just want to share just a little bit more about those, you know, your books, or you can share about your association, whatever, you know, if there's something that you want to follow up from what Marsha said.
Sure. I do want to mention the National Association of Christian Women Entrepreneurs. You can see my big logo in the background, but that's what she was referring to, nacwe.org. And of course, that's my hub. Those are the people I'm with all day, every day. And these, you know, we finished up this book series. So we did 3 books in this series. Not all women came from NACWI, but, you know, a lot of them came from there. And then again, if somebody needs help with a kind of this process, I mean, I would love to coach you through that process as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely go check out her website, dianecunningham.com, or the NACWI site, nacwe.org, and connect with Diane. She's most active on Facebook, as I am. Facebook is kind of where I hang out as well.
Yeah.
Periscope's becoming my number 2 these days, but you know, I try not to do everything, but focus on 1 or 2, and you know, encourage authors to do the same. Well, if there are no more questions, or if there's not anyone else that wants to jump on, do you have any other closing thoughts or tips for us today, Diane?
Yes, I do. I found out today is Swap Ideas Day.
Oh,
September 10th, which is really what we're doing right now. We're swapping ideas.
Yes.
You know, really, I grab on the way I find out what these holidays are is this website called brownylocks.com. And you can go to this website and find the craziest holidays and things. And it's a horrible website, but forgive that. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I love that concept because, you know, as entrepreneurs, we are here to swap ideas. The more we exchange ideas, the better. The more I learn from you, Shelley, the more I can help more people, and you can help more people. Amen.
Amen.
There's not a lack. There's no limit. And we need to get out of that mindset. So let's just continue to swap ideas today. Let's go out there and let's change the world. Let's do this.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you said that website is Brownie
Locks. So it's like Brownie Lock, LOCKS, brownielocks.com. Yep.
Yeah, it's a great tip. I love, seeing what the little holidays are because they're so sometimes obscure.
Yeah. We've got International Coffee Day coming up, and
Woo!
It was Weirdos Day, so
yeah. Well, it's just been a joy having you, Diane, and you're just a wealth of information and just have had so many experiences that you can then draw from to help others. And so I'm excited to be able to share you, even more and to be able to post this on my podcast and my website and other areas. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure. Thank you. This is fun.
Yeah, your first blab.
My first blab. Yay, I did it.
Yeah. And if you're not following Diane yet, click on her little, I think it's this way, her little, the icon next to her name, and make sure you're following her here on Blab. And we just appreciate you. We appreciate you joining us live or watching the rebroadcast. And stay tuned because I'm going to have another interview coming up soon on this expert interview series. So I will look forward to talking with you soon. Bye.